pleasure to be on the show.
Now, Train Alta, some people might have known as Wimp to Warrior back in the day. First of all, why the change, and just what sort of the premise when someone at the pub asks you about it? What do you tell them?
I guess the premise was always participation in the sport and building that. I think Wimp to Warrior was a really good vehicle for people who had an interest in mixed martial arts, who are fans, or maybe not even fans, but wanted to challenge themselves, wanted a life-changing experience, or just wanted to do something that was out of the box. And that's really what Wimp to Warrior was started on. It was the genesis of it in 2013, and then that evolved into where we are now as Train Alta. And we're currently building something bigger than just the program, but really the kind of core thing, or the core theme that we've been stuck to, is that 20-week journey of transformation through the Warrior training program, all the way to stepping in the cage at the end. So I guess when people ask me, what am I doing now after you've been fighting it? I first was introduced to, when it was Wimp to Warrior originally, 2014, and that's when I met a fellow called Nick Langton, who's actually one of the founders of was Wimp to Warrior at the time, but now Train Alta, and I took a class that they were doing. I think it was maybe only the second series of the program. And obviously coming into it, I thought, you need to be training for, a substantial amount of time before you step in the cage, and all the other things that you naturally would think. But when I got the opportunity to coach and to see the cohort of people, I was blown away by just how receptive they were to learning, and followed their journey through the 20 weeks. And I can say that everybody was ready to, have a fair match against someone else in that program. And it was an awesome thing to be a part of. So that's where I first got introduced to it. And I only started working with the company about just under a year and a half ago now. So that's kind of my journey to working for the company. But yeah, was first coaching while I was in the UFC, and then now working with the company.
And what's the biggest difference between taking regular people who have basically never done anything, maybe even sport, and then teaching people that are aspiring MMA fighters? Like, what's the difference?
Massive difference. I think the preconceived ideas of what it is or what MMA is, none of those are kind of there for people that are really fresh, and they're very malleable, and you can kind of take them on that journey. And it's not only when it gets to kind of high-end sport or performance, I think like a lot of the people who are doing it are athletes. And to get to that top level, you have to be an athlete. So you probably have been athletic your whole life. Whereas, Alta was an opportunity to, branch out to everybody who had, who wanted the opportunity to have a fight, whether it be a challenge, originally for weight loss, for, they've got to a point where they need something in their life like that, or they just, like I said, they just wanted to step in the cage, always wanted to do it, but there was no pathway. So I guess the big difference is structuring a syllabus that can get somebody from limited experience or no experience training all the way to stepping in a cage safely within 20 weeks.
Do you even have to sort of get them accustomed to even being hit?
We just get them in day one and just for sure. So I thought long and hard about what's the best way, and all the learning lessons along the way. When I started mixed martial arts, or I started kickboxing or boxing, we didn't have an easy on-ramp into training. So the biggest thing for me was about how do we get these guys, through the 20 weeks without dropping out, getting punched in the head. So let's take the lowest denominator of a person who hasn't trained in years, they've never done combat sports, they didn't play rugby or anything hard, and let's be able to take them through from week 1 to 20. Okay, and that's how we structured it. So I wouldn't bring in the sparring aspect, getting punched in the face till at least the midway point. I'd like to slowly build them up to the foundational fundamental movements that make up striking, grappling, wrestling. Then we build up their fitness and obviously, the structure around that. Then we bring them into some isolated sort of drills around that. And then eventually I would stair-step them into that sparring, starting with jab sparring, and then jab and cross sparring, and some wrestling sparring. We'd bring that all together in around week 15 to 20, where they start to put that MMA sparring together. But of course, I think if you bring that in too early, you are just, you're essentially, a lot of people want to spar early, but I don't think you're helping the cohort, because you improve very quick when you start that tough sparring quickly. A lot of people drop off. The tough guys stay around, and girls, and they get good quick, but they flatline out because they did a lot of bad habits. So I just try to eliminate that through a real progressive program, right? So that's a longer conversation, but no. I guess the point is, getting used to getting punched in the face. I don't know if you ever get used to it. You certainly get used to opening your eyes and keeping
Yeah.
your eyes open. That would be the biggest thing, as you know,
The
as you've trained
flinch.
before, is it's like you
Yeah.
start flinching, closing your eyes, and of course the fear of getting punched is is greater than the actual feeling of
Yeah.
getting punched, right? So I think getting people through that and that self-belief that they can spar, and then they start to develop that like I said, that self-belief that they can do it.